Creasing.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 17 of Forging Fandom. Today me and Chris are joined by Kevin Stamp. He's a fellow author in the genre I write in. And what's going on, Kevin? How have you been?
I've been good, and I appreciate the shout out to come on your show. It's pretty exciting. So
For
things are
sure.
good.
Yeah, it's all about, independent people, creating new storytelling. Because lately, unfortunately, a lot of the shows and movies we've kind of been covering have been, unfortunately, not up to par. But there's a lot of awesome people out there creating new independent projects like yourself, writing your books. So, what got you into writing? What started you on that path?
I guess it really depends on how far back we want to go, but I think probably catalytically when I was in grade 3 or 4, one of my teachers was very adamant about reading. So I remember it was either Ms. Reed or Ms. Barton or their names, and they were adamant about getting me to read books. They told my mom he has to read. So I think I started being a reader before a writer, but the idea of getting in to the library, my mom would take me to the library and encourage me to get books, and then I just dove into reading. And then I used to write like mini short stories for creative writing classes, as most kids do throughout elementary school and high school. So there was that. In terms of actually putting out completed content, it wasn't really until later in life for me, probably in my late 30s when I was an elementary school teacher. I wrote a couple of children's books, which are now published under Donald Graham is the pen name, just to keep it distinct from my adult writing. But I wrote 4 of those, and as most people are aware, the self-publishing platform like Amazon or Kobo, I also use that, where it made it possible to put your work out there. So that was really exciting, a new development and for indie authors. And then I had a shift where I decided to try to foray into writing for adults, and I'm enjoying it much better. Although I probably will go back to writing for kids maybe someday at some point. But I found contests. So contests were these sort of things you could. There's all kinds, right? And they give you the topic or the framework for it, and you write and try to get, win the contest or get like even an honorable mention. And those prompts really helped me sort of delve into that. And so I've been writing some horror short stories and some science fiction short stories. And um, I started writing my novel, The Last Northman, around 2017, give or take. I think the idea really surfaced quite a while back, even when I was in my teen years. But so it took me a while to get it from A to Z, but I think that was my first one. So I'm finding working on my second novel now, I got a little bit more momentum, a little bit more understanding of how to work the process. So that's been my journey, and I'm hoping that I just continue, right? And I've got lots of ideas, and definitely want to get some game lit stuff writ. And I mean, that's a really exciting genre that's kind of come up for us, right? So I want to get into that and try that area too. So lots of cool
Definitely,
things.
yeah. Sounds like we had very similar inspirations. My mom was always very into, reading me books and getting me into reading at a young age, which, inspired me to start writing young, just like you. So, with writing, what inspires you to write? Is it just these ideas in your head, or is it like reading other books or watching shows or movies, or do you just come up with the inspiration yourself?
I think well, there's a couple of um, wider areas to think about in that, but just scaling it down to maybe the more focused areas. It's, yeah, what I've read over the years, right? So all of the books that I've absorbed, and those ideas kind of almost, I feel like, go into a soup, right? And they sort of mill around, and then you can pull from that, ideas come out of that. I play Dungeons and Dragons, so that is also, I'm big on fantasy. I'm big on adventure, so I've got a lot of that. And I mean, D&D, for those that play it, it's like living in a book, right? It's like living this adventure as it unfolds. So that's important. Video games as well can be influences, and TV shows, right? Movies, documentaries. It all just, the more I think we absorb and put into this pool of soupish ideas that we can pull from it. Now, scaling out, there's other ideas. Like I read from Stephen King, a quote from him recently. He said, and I'm not going to get it verbatim, but he said something like, a good author is a secretary, not a god, right? So basically, meaning the stories come from somewhere, right? And mystically, what is that, right? I mean, I've heard other writers talk about sort of getting things beamed into their head, right? Or having creatures that you can't see sort of channeling the stories. So that's another idea, is it's like, does that stuff come from outside of us or within us? And I'm torn. I don't know how it works really, but it's an enjoyable ride so far. So we'll see.
Definitely. So, do you keep up with? I assume like you watch, movies and shows, or you're into like current media, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just,
So,
oh,
would
sorry, go
you
ahead.
would? Oh no, you're good. Would you say like, because we've been covering this like for almost a year, almost like 5 months now. That unfortunately it seems with like most like, especially with the stuff Disney's been putting out like shows and movies, that they've kind of just been going down writing quality wise. Have you noticed that, or do you think everything's kind of stayed the same with modern productions?
Um, I don't know recent years. I'm not sure. I don't necessarily know if I even consume a lot of Disney content per se, but
Hmm.
um, a couple of, I'm sure you've touched on Game of Thrones, right? I mean, I
Hmm.
read the books, right? George R. R. Martin, I think is his name, the author. If I
It
forget.
is, yeah.
So reading his books, I consumed those like they were going out of style, right? And such great writing, it almost exposed us to a different way of like not of losing characters that we invest in, right? So that, I think that makes good writing is the ability for the author to kill off a character, and that really affects the reader, right, and on an emotional level. So and then that show, and then where they took it after, because I think they carried on from the last point of his writing, right? So I think that was good scripting. um, I just finished up the first season of Fallout on
Oh,
Amazon.
nice. Yeah,
I
we
won't.
watched that recently.
Yeah, I don't. So have you talked about it on your show?
Oh, yeah, you can spoil it. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great. Like I love Fallout. That genre of game was just fantastic, and it took me a while to warm up to it because I was playing it and I'm like, why do I not have any ammunition, or why am I always dying? And then one of my friends rhymes in. He said, "Look, man, have you tried VATS?" I'm like, "What is VATS?" So I learned the game, and then it became easier to play and more enjoyable. But when they did that show, I think they did a good job of bringing all the lore, the items, the style of the game and stuff. So I think they did a good job of transferring that video game to the show. The Witcher is another show that I think they did a good job. I read all
Have you
the
seen
books.
season 3?
I have not, so I'm a little bit behind
Oh,
on that. So I'm gearing up.
yeah, season. So I actually really enjoyed season 1, and then I had the hot take of enjoying season 2, and most people didn't. But
Yeah,
then season 3, it was like I don't know what happened between seasons 2 and 3, because like everything from the sets to the costuming to the writing just went straight down a hill. And now Henry Cavill's left, so now they're bringing in Liam Hemsworth to play Geralt for seasons 4 and 5, which have been cut down to like 4 episodes per
okay,
season. So it seems like that show's unfortunately
yeah,
not doing too well. But I actually really enjoyed Fallout. And I haven't played the games either, so I was just coming in from the perspective of just
okay,
someone, who enjoys like books and movies and stuff.
yeah,
And I thought the characters were so unique and the world felt very expansive and just very unique. Like a lot of the time with shows and movies now, they kind of seem like to blend together and seem kind of generic, but Fallout seemed to have this whole other type of aspects like to itself.
yeah,
And it just stood out to me, and the comedy was on point.
yeah.
There are obviously like things to critique about it, but I really enjoyed Fallout. Chris, you did see Fallout, right? I think. Guys, Chris is gone. What's up, Cerberus? Anyway, Kevin. So what do you think about Fallout Season 2? Because they did renew it for that. So are you looking forward to
Oh yeah,
Season 2?
yeah, yeah. I'm very excited, right? That's one of those ones where it's like at the end of a day, tough day or not tough day, right? You can sit down, relax, watch Fallout. My girlfriend got into it too, so that's always fun, right? Her getting into some of the stuff I enjoy. So it's always a nice way to just sit down and end the day, right? With a show that entertains, right? So I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. That's why, people comment for you to watch shows, to read books. It's just, relax and have something to enjoy. Are you reading any books currently, or do you have any
Uh,
shows that you're consuming right now?
I'm doing. Let me think about fiction wise. I don't have any fiction books on the go right now, but I have a lot of nonfiction. So largely, I've got books related to learning about my second novel. So nonfiction written. One of them is called "Children of Ash and Elm," which is about the Vikings, basically, and that whole explosion of culture. And so I'm reading that. I've got other books that I want to read too. So in my second novel, there's going to be aspects of the Middle East in it. So I'm trying to get that right, or at least as best I can, and learn about the medieval period in the Middle East, which is fascinating. I think that's one of the things I like about writing. I guess in a way, historical fiction is you can delve into the past and you can tweak it a little bit, right? Because you're working with fiction, but you can take sort of the
Yeah.
real things and twist them, right? So um, I'm enjoying that. But yeah, in terms of a nonfiction, I don't think I have a fiction book. I don't think I have something, and I need to line that up because it's nice to read fiction, right? It's an enjoyable thing. So yeah.
Oh yeah, Chris, we were talking about Fallout. I forgot. But you watched the Fallout show, right?
I did not watch the Fallout show.
Oh, you did not. Okay. So we actually,
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I think most people, on the panels have enjoyed it. But what about The Witcher? You've seen that, right?
The Witcher. Nope.
Yeah. No?
Uh.
No?
Mm.
Oh yeah. Okay. Chris doesn't like fantasy stuff as much, which is like wild to me because he enjoys, like science fiction shows, and like modern day shows, but just fantasy isn't exactly his niche, which everyone, has their niches. Would you say there's any type of genres that you don't really write about, or any type of things you like stay away from, genre wise, just niche, whether it be like a time zone or a setting or anything, or do you just enjoy writing whatever comes to your mind?
I think I'm trying to just really be broad in what comes in to my mind or what I put out of my mind. I think I wrote I got to I write horror, right, which can be graphic
Mhm.
and psychologically scary. At least I try to make it that. But I entered a contest a long time ago. I was back in like 2018. It was, I can't remember where the contest was, but it was basically they gave you a character, profession, they gave you a setting and another prompt. There was three prompts, and you had, I think it was 1,000 words you had to create the story. So mine was it's a bit of a spoiler on my short story called Sometimes You Just Can't Trust the Numbers, but it was about an accountant love story, and something else. So I tried to play with um, romance and humor, right? So it was a romantic comedy. And as I finished it up, I really felt it was a good story for particularly young men that are hesitant to reach out romantically to anyone, right? It's like it can kind of give you a sort of an idea around how to navigate that. And there's a bit of humor in it. And I felt like
Nice.
that kind of balances out the universe, right, in my mind, right? Because to go into the pit of alligators all the time and write in there and be in there, it's nice to come out and experience other genres, right? One
Exactly. That's something I've been having kind of trouble with lately is finding time because like everyone in summer, everything watching this, I'm sure like you're busier than usual. You don't have as much time to like relax and watch shows. So I've been having trouble, finding time to write and especially like with currently we've got like The Boys season 4 and House of the Dragon season 2 airing. So it's like, do I sit down and watch an episode or do I write? Do you ever struggle with finding that time with you want to write, but something else, distracts you from that?
Yeah, my vice is video games. Like, I mean, I video game. Like, I was reading about Fallout 4 when I was playing it, right? And I was reading on Reddit, and the guy's like, "This will destroy your relationship. Be careful," And I actually had that talk with my girlfriend, right, where she said, "Look, a little bit too much gaming, right? So we have agreement where I don't play when she's not, like if she's out of the house, I'll play, and then we have that. But I've come to realize that if I'm gaming, I'm not writing, right? And it is a trade-off, right? Time is finite, right? Especially considering how much time is in a day when you're not asleep, working and eating, right? So it's really I have to trade that off. And one of the things that helps me is I recently, so a couple weeks back, about 3 weeks ago, because I hadn't been working on my novel, I said, okay, I have to do something. So all I did is I said I'm going to write 500 words a day, and then I sit down and I try to do it in 20 minutes. Sometimes I go a bit over if I have to do a quick research thing, but that is like an element of just working at it. And I found that was really neat because 20 minutes is not a long time. And when you think about your day, right? Especially if I try to write in the evening because I've heard that largely through Dr. Andrew Huberman that being your creative side is you want to juice it out more in the evening, right? So I try to write in the evening, and I'm like, if I can just smash out 500 words every night, obviously I miss a few nights here and there, then it helps, right? And then I feel like when I'm on track with that, then I can
Mm.
give myself a little play with video games, right? Like I can enjoy a game. I mean, I'm still playing Warcraft 3, which dates me a bit, but I'm still playing Warcraft 3 competitively against a friend all the time, and I'm playing the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is epic and taking forever to finish. But so yeah, I have to be mindful of gaming, right? Because
Are you gonna play the new Assassin's Creed game with the
yeah,
Black Samurai?
oh, I just saw that advertised today. I'm gonna definitely play Mirage next because it ironically enough is following the storyline of my next novel. So I thought, well, I'll immerse myself in those video games. The summer one, maybe
Okay.
bit, but I've got the whole Witcher series to play too. So I've got all these games stacking, and I'm all the way back to like
That's what's up.
2008 or something in terms of games. But so yeah, to round back to the question, gaming can be something that I have to contend with. Motivation in terms of just getting in, but I find like anything, right? When you sit down and do it consistently, regularly, every day, it becomes natural and normal, right? So, um, obviously, if I was writing full time, that would be exciting. But I wonder what I would, if I had it as a day job, then what would that mean from how would I feel about writing versus now?
Right,
It's like,
it's that I forgot what it's called, but it's that when you do something and you're just doing it because you enjoy it versus when you're doing it because you get something from it, like money, for example.
yeah,
I know there's a word for it, I forgot what it's called, but it's that sensation, right? Like you write just because you enjoy writing, and yeah, you make a few $100 or whatever, but that's just like a benefit. Versus like if you're making somehow like people making millions off their books, like George R. R. Martin we mentioned, like he's making infinite money pretty much from his books, but he won't get to writing book 5 because it's been what's it been like 13 years now and we still haven't got Winds of Winter, which is
yeah,
just like versus, all the independent people I feel like in our sphere who are pumping out like 3-4 books a year,
mhm,
versus this guy who's got all the money, he's got a huge audience. Imagine having the whole world waiting for your next book, and
yeah.
it's been 13 years and he still hasn't, but it's that wondering, right? Like what happens, what does it change how we view writing when we're earning like a ton of money from it? So how do you feel about that? Like obviously we write just because we enjoy writing, but what do you think about that writing once you begin really crafting from it? Do you think that would change your perspective?
Probably, right. It would put as a main source of income. Would there be an added pressure to that, right? Especially because you need sales to buy your food and pay your rent, right? So there would be an added pressure. But um, I think if I had more time, then I would write, right? But ultimately too, I don't even know if I would quit my day job fully, right? But certainly look at
Hmm.
Yeah.
just engaging that part of my mind. But I would love to earn more money from it, right? It's just it's not easy. I think most writers are aware of that, right? It's to convince someone to buy
Yeah.
art, right? It's a tough go, right? But yeah, but that's why I think back to your point of loving it, right? And loving the process and
Hmm.
just sitting down and creating and enjoying that. And yeah,
You just got to have a passion for it. That's basically what you're basically saying. If
yeah,
you don't have no passion, then what's the point in doing it? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And that's what I think, drives us to start writing is having not just the ideas, but the passion of this story that you want to get out there and you want other people to enjoy and
Yeah.
it's spreading, messages to your stories, right? To inspire people. Because when I read a book, I judge if it's a good book, it's because it inspired me to go write. And so I want my books to inspire people, whether it's, to write or to go do whatever they're doing, to have an uplifting, feeling about what they're doing because of whatever it might have been from my book. Um, but what do you think about that inspirational value that stories have? Because obviously we've always, had them from like cave drawings, to current day with movies and shows. They're very influential and can really persuade people and motivate them in different ways. What do you think about the power that storytelling has right now over like everyone pretty much?
I think that uh, especially fiction can be profoundly powerful, right? The things that you can learn in fiction and see and experience through the characters that you're reading about, right? I think it can be tremendously impactful and help you navigate the world outside of your book, right? It's like you learn
Hmm.
something in a fiction book that a character did, and there was a consequence, and you can take that knowledge and apply it, or you learn a lesson that you can apply to your life, or you can learn about what you don't want as well, right? Like seeing some stuff that you read about, right, that can be not good, right? Saying, I don't want that in my life. So how did the character avoid it, right? Or what would be a way that I could avoid it that the character didn't do or whatever. So I think it's profoundly great. And it's a theater of the mind, right? We're actually using our brain to sort of have these experiences on a pseudo level, right? And then take that out into the I guess the real existence we have in that sense. So yeah. And fiction,
Definitely.
nonfiction, I mean, nonfiction is great too, right? It's like you learn as well, right, through nonfiction. So well, I try to read a bit of both here and there. So
So I do have. I've been trying to pull up your website for the last few minutes, and as people know, last time I tried to bring up someone's link, I accidentally shared out the StreamYard's link to the call because I'm
okay,
not I'm not the best with technology, but I'm copying and pasting. Chris, can you share Kevin's website? Share your screen because it's not coming up for me.
I'm on a tablet, so I won't be able to do
Oh,
it.
Do you think I
all
could do
right.
it?
Well, oh yeah, if you are able to share your screen,
Let's see.
just so we can see what we've got
Well, when you hit
going
present,
on right now.
which
Present, then share screen.
sorry about that. Okay. So I go to present. Okay. So, can you see, are you seeing it there? Or?
Yep, here we go.
Yeah. So this, yeah, the link is at the top. It's www.lighterthanpapers.com, and I built this just messing around with WordPress. I followed a tutorial basically and copied the instructions of the tutorial. This is actually similar to Joe Rogan's podcast, The Format. I thought it would look cool, so I thought I'll try to build that myself. And I've got just the different aspects of what I got on here, and then all my books are just listed down here, all the stories. And
Oh, can you scroll up a bit? I love that cover, the skull in like the red clouds.
yeah. So this
Oh
is the
man, that's awesome.
so this is a short story called Blood Mist, which disclosure, it's pretty graphic, but it's this was a contest entry that I didn't win anything, but the contest was put out by, I think it's called Dark Regions Press, which is I think a small press that specializes in horror, and they put out contests here and there. And basically they said 3 people in one place, there can be auxiliary characters, but 3 people try to survive the night and only one does. So I kind of rolled with the idea of writing that. And so,
Is this supposed to be like a horror book or?
yeah, it's horror.
I mean, the 3 people, one place, only 2 survive. I mean, only 1 survives.
It's actually, I mean, it's a violent graphic
Yeah.
horror story. So if that's not your slice of cake, then I wouldn't read it. But it's about 5,000 words. So,
Okay, that's a quick read.
yeah,
Kind of.
fast, right. I listed this reasonably priced. All my short stories, I listed them for 99 cents, just to sort of give people an easy way to experience it. There's the romantic comedy, and then a few more down here. This one here called The Wellington is basically about my grandfather's service in World War II in a Wellington airplane. So it's a short story about the camaraderie of American and British soldiers, flying over war-torn Europe. And he had a couple of harrowing experiences, and I put that into the story. And anybody that buys this book, the benefit or the sales proceeds of sales go towards the Legion, which is an organization. I think only in Canada, but I could get that wrong. But it's basically they support veterans, they support RCMP members, they support the community and such in their community hub. So I'm donating all the sales from this to help out my local Legion and close to my house. And then
That's
this,
awesome.
yeah. So anybody and it's a quick read. So
Yes, guys, if you want to support, a good cause, and also something obviously that's a much more serious topic, the war and stuff. But I do find that in writing, when I'm taking, because I'm inspired pretty much every day to go write something, but when I'm taking something from real life, like circumstances, whether it's a person or a conversation, I feel like those are my best moments in my books when it's something that I'm taking from something that actually happened. And obviously, it's a lot more impactful and deep when it's from something like, your father's or grandfather's stories from the war.
yeah,
So everyone, you should definitely support that.
it's real, right? It's close to home, right?
Mhm.
So, and then this last piece, this is my last one that I worked on. So it's called The Tether, and it's a science fiction slash comedy science fiction. So yeah, this is, I mean, anybody that aspires to build a website, it's not hard, man. You get on and you can, sorry, I'll come back. You can find tutorials, right, on how to build, and it is quite fun. I played a lot with it during the pandemic in March, right, when everything shut down. I'm like, well, what else can I do with my time? I was a substitute teacher at the time, and schools were closed. So I'm like, well, I'll try to find something else to build, right? So
Yeah, during COVID is kind of it's strange because it's obviously like an awful thing that happened, but I don't know if I would have started writing if that didn't happen.
okay,
Because suddenly all my school was on Zoom. I was homeschooled pretty much for like 3 years. The amount of time I was in school was cut down by like half. So I had all this free time
Mm.
suddenly, and all this free time to start writing. So I mean some silver linings, right? So that's definitely what started me on the path to writing. Would you say your productivity increased during that period of time?
Um, yeah, it did
Kind
actually.
of really didn't have no choice for
Exactly.
your product.
There's the space to be filled, I guess, right? Like there's time
Hmm.
to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, Kevin, it was awesome having you on, talk about your stories and everyone. I will put his link in the description when I figure out how to. But me and Chris are going to get to talking about The Boys. I don't know if you'd like to stick around to hear that or if you'd like to head on out.
I'm gonna skip out so I don't get any spoilers because I want to watch it. So, but hey,
Sounds good. I highly recommend the show. The first two seasons are fantastic. Seasons 3 and 4, we have some strong opinions which we're about to talk about on. But it was great having you on, Kevin, and I'll see you. Thanks for coming on, man.
thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great night.
Peace out,
Definitely.
Kevin.
See you.
Take care, guys.
All right, what's up, Tim? Listen, The Acolyte. I've seen Chris, have you seen on X Star Wars is now promoting like character of the day on for like these strange like vague characters that show up like in the background of Acolyte. They're now saying like this is the character of the day and you need to like know who this is and stuff. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I seen it. Like
Wild.
once again, the
Like
acolyte, just a disappointment. Not good at all. But hey,
so
when you're
pathetic.
it's so bad. Like my goodness. So basically, like there's no such thing as villains anymore. Like May is basically a good guy now because she decided to turn herself into being a Jedi now. Like she wants to join the Jedi because her sister is a Jedi now. So yeah, that's basically where we're going with this. It's pretty bad. The Ryan's horrible. It's like really gay and more gayness. So the
Wait, so
acolyte
are
is
the
not that.
sisters actually lesbians with each other? Because that would be incest by her.
No,
Sorry.
no, no,
Okay.
no, 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 no,
Okay, okay,
no.
okay. So I
But
heard
there's a lot of
Mundi shows up
yeah,
in the most recent episode. So what's that about? Isn't this like 100 years before Phantom Menace?
yeah. It's 100 years before Phantom Menace, but like by what the calculations is, like he's not supposed to be alive like in the next 40 years or whatever. So and in Phantom Menace, he said like there hasn't been a Sith since 1,000 years. So like you just destroyed just destroyed the whole entire canon of George Lucas. Nothing
So
means
they got
anything anymore.
him in who shouldn't even be alive, but there's no Yoda who actually would be alive at this time.
From what it's looking like Yoda does not exist in this timeline for some reason. I don't know why. I
Oh,
don't
maybe
know
Yaddle will
how or
show up.
whatever.
Maybe Yaddle
Yeah.
will come
So
into it, you know?
yeah, Mr. Yundi is not supposed to be like, here at all. Like you're not even supposed to be existing at all right now. But, hey, it's Disney Star Wars. Do you really count it? Like is this really good or anything? No, it's really not. It, it's just watching a train wreck and you're just like watching the aftermath of everything. That's basically how every Star Wars fan is right now. Cause like I think even like that night they were like literally it was the Fellowship versus the SJWs that night because like let me tell you something, they were battling for Laurel on Wikipedia, man, and like they shut down the comment section, and I love it because we won that thing. Anytime when you rage quick, you won. It's over. You're done, son. It's over. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Or whatever. So another win
Speaking
for the
of bad
fellowship.
bad shows, unfortunately I'm not enjoying The Boys season 4 like I was expecting to. Like I put episode 4 on today to watch, and it took me 3 different intervals to actually watch it. I stopped 3 different times to go do something else and then came back and watched it. What do you think about these first few episodes?
So the first three episodes, I would say the first episode, like it was cool, but then the next two was really gay. And this episode 4, is actually watchable. I think that's the best episode so far. But if you're telling me which season is the weakest, it is season 4 compared to the other three seasons. Um,
It's just like
Yeah,
the through
like
episode
I feel
4,
like
it's
it's
like
the most gayest. It's the most gayest season. That's
yeah,
basically how I can
so
say it.
Frenchie I fast forwarded all of Frenchie and Colin's gay scenes together, which there are many gay scenes of them together, especially in episode 4. But it's out of nowhere. Like the first 3 seasons, we're building up Frenchie and Kimiko's relationship, right? And then
Yeah,
episode 1 of season 4, this dude Colin's just here, and him and Frenchie are just
yeah,
going off to do butt stuff every 5 minutes, and it's like even if it wasn't gay,
yeah,
even if it was some random girl, even if it was Carlina or something, and not just some dude. If some random girl showed up and Frenchie was with her suddenly, not with Kamiko, who's
yeah,
been built up with him for 3 seasons, it would be weird. So we're not just
yeah,
saying this because it's gay. That's just added. It doesn't make
yeah.
sense.
It's just good storytelling and good writing. So yeah, for me, like the boys, like season 4, I'm not really feeling it. I even told my friends or whatever, like in my other Discord or whatever. Shout out to the Kings of Pop Culture. Love you guys. But yeah, like even some of them were even saying that, yeah, like they weren't feeling the first 3 episodes or whatever. Like it was, yeah, it was. I have to say, this is the most gayest season ever. Like the like. Don't get me wrong, the boys had like some weird scenes or whatever, but it's like you could just like maybe one or two throughout the whole entire season. But we had 3 back to back, man. That's way
Have
too
you
much, man.
did you finish episode 4? Because I know you were just watching it. Did you actually finish the episode?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I
you
actually
saw the
finished
eye,
watching episode 4, and that's the best. That so far for what I've seen, that's the best
the
episode
eye,
or whatever.
the eye with
Yeah,
Sister
I saw the
Sage.
eye thing. Yeah, it's freaking weird,
What
man. I don't
I
know.
I don't. So for anyone who doesn't know, this isn't like a spoiler. There's this new character, Sister Sage, who she's supposed to be like the smartest person alive, which she says
Yeah,
person a ton because everyone says woman, but then she corrects some person. Um,
yeah,
and she's actually really dumb, and I'm gonna do a video on the voice when I get a second because every decision she makes is so insanely stupid, and I will do a long video covering why I believe that. But in this, so there's a scene. She has the deep nail this like a
hmm
spike a metal
Glass eye.
thing into her
Yeah,
brain and hammer it
yeah.
in through her eye. And I don't know about you, Chris, but how would that not blind her? Because she specifically says it's only her brain that regenerates. How is he nailing this in without it? Because it's like they keep cutting to the side. How is this not like damaging her eye?
Yeah. Well, like they can just always use the MacGuffin of like it's the serum that they take or whatever that like
But
can heal her brain or
she
whatever.
specifically says, if you shoot me, I'm dead. But the one part of me that
Mm.
regenerates is my brain. So it doesn't, it's not good storytelling, folks. Also, what's up, Tim? What's up, David? Yeah, and so listen, Starlight, right? In season 3, Starlight goes on this whole subplot and finds out that the temporary V is fatal if you take more than 3
Yeah,
doses. And she calls Butcher
yeah,
and, tells him, right? So she knows,
yeah,
she's like the only one who knows it's fatal. And I think it's like episode 2 or
yeah,
3 where Butcher reveals finally that he is dying, and she's with everyone else like, "What?" Just as shocked as them. So she knew this, and she didn't tell anyone. She didn't tell none of the boys that Butcher was dying. And then
yeah.
just act shocked and pretend she didn't know when she fully did know because there's a whole subplot about it. And also, Starla, I guess, got an abortion, which is just like casually mentioned. Her and Huey got an abortion, I guess, 6 weeks ago.
Nah, that's where they're like doing like how they do fake news just to like get get people to talk in real life or whatever, just to make Starlight go down even more or whatever. But other than that,
No,
it's
she
like,
actually got the abortion because they said that. How she was like, "How
mm,
did you get your medical records?" And that was, a personal thing. She got the abortion. That
oh,
actually
okay.
happened.
Well, I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
paying
and she
attention
was,
to
like,
that part.
calling her mom about it, and she talked to Huey. Yeah, you tuned out because it's a bad episode, but no, she fully got the abortion, and she goes on this whole stupid
No, it
monologue
was
about
still
how
good or
it
whatever,
was
but I'm still trying to pay attention to you guys at the same time. So I'm watching the episode and paying attention to y'all. So
Oh, you're
like I
watching
might
the
have missed
episode
that
right
part.
now in this second.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nah, I'm not watching
Starlight
it
goes
at
on this
all
whole
anymore. I'm
monologue
watching
about it was her
Peacemaker.
body, her choice, and she got the abortion, and it makes
Yeah.
her the show is fully behind her, like saying this was a good choice she made. When Firecracker, the quote unquote villain, who then Starlight goes and beats up, is portrayed as the bad person for calling her out on that. It
Well,
doesn't
what's her
make
name? What's her
sense.
name? Was
Firecracker.
basically pedophile, like sleeping with the 15-year-old. That's weird. So
I
yeah,
know. And
it's
then they're just
that's why I
like,
just said
it's
that this is
real
the
though. Everyone claps after they reveal that. It's like
yeah.
she was like, yeah,
So
I'm a pedophile, but I love God, so it's okay, I guess.
no, that's not how it works. And second of all, you probably like, my goodness, dude, PDF file. Yeah, that was like that's why I just said this is the worst season. Like I like there's no debate on this one. Like this is the worst season. Like if
I
I was to
guarantee
rank
you,
it, it's I'll put like season one number one, season three for me, or whatever, and number two at number three, and number four is at number four, or
yeah,
whatever.
we have
And
the
season
exact
five
same
is going to be
ranking
the
as well.
last one. Yeah,
One, then three, then two, then this one. But I guarantee you, they will not bring up the abortion nor the pedophile stuff for the rest of the season, even though it's something massive that was just leaked online about both these characters. I guarantee it's just gonna be forgotten. Just like I guess
yeah,
Starlight forgot that Butcher was dying or whatever, and
yeah,
and so the whole thing is something that seems so strange to me is so Homelander's son, right? He's supposed to be a pretty big focus, right? He's their his connection to Butcher, and he's the one thing they have that could eventually take Homelander down. Inversely, he could become the next Homelander, right? He's in like
yeah.
two scenes, mainly in episode one. He's not in episode four at all. I don't think he's in episode three, and it's so strange that he's barely in the show now. When he should be a very important pivotal character to the show, but he's barely in it at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say this is just my theory. It was probably during the like they couldn't get him for the during the riot strike, so he can only like fill in at some point or whatever because he is like still like 15 or 16 or whatever. You know how they do like his contracts are
Oh,
different and everything. So like
oh, I never
that's
considered
just
that.
my that's just yeah, like that's my thing. It's probably like he couldn't like get the days off because he probably had to go to school or something. So
That's strange. I guess they should just got like an 18-year-old who looks young or something. But good evening,
yeah,
Dylan. It's actually a pretty lousy evening for me, but because it's I was hoping the boys was gonna be good, right? Because again, I enjoyed the first three seasons with caveats, but season four has just been downhill. And the best thing
yeah,
about it
it's the worst
easily
season.
it's still Homelander and Butcher. Because Starlight's become so much more insufferable than she was before. Frenchie's
Yeah.
just off being gay. Marvin's been a dick to every single character. Is there anyone in the show he's been nice to throughout this? He's awful to Butcher. He treats him like crap. He treats Huey like crap. I don't know what's going on. He seems like a different character.
I'm a little disappointed that Jeffrey D. Morgan's not in here even more. Hopefully, like he
He
gets like the
disappeared.
next.
He wasn't even in
Hopefully,
episode
there could
four.
be like four more. He's in the last four episodes or whatever. Like, because he was supposed to be having a big role or something, but I'm not.
He's got
I'm
like
not
two
seeing
minutes
it.
of screen time. He's in it like even less
Yeah,
than Homelander's son. But no, I have a theory. My theory is he's not real, but you're just seeing him. He's his like imaginary friend, just like his wife is. I think that's gonna be some big reveal they try and play off as a big reveal, even though it's kind of obvious.
that could
At least in my
that
opinion.
actually could be. Oh,
Because we
that
don't see
could
him
be
talk to
happening, but if
anyone.
they do it like that, then that'll be the most dumbest thing that they can come up with because then you just wasted Jeffrey D. Morgan or
I
whatever.
know. Like at least have him do
So
something impactful, so then it's a neat reveal. But like, yeah,
yeah,
it's just lame. Um, Gentlemen, am I in the right place? Oh yeah, because of gender terms or something. Oh no, I don't even. Guys, my head's not in it today. I'm sorry. But I don't know if I'm gonna watch The Boys episode 5. I'm definitely not on the day it comes out, but like I might get to it. Are you you're continuing the show, Chris?
oh no, I'm still watch it. I'm still a fan. I mean, everybody's entitled to have one bad season. I mean,
Hmm.
every show goes through it. So like, this is their bad season. So
Yeah, it's
That's
unfortunate.
how
And
I
you know
feel.
they're ending on season 5, right? That's gonna be their last season.
Yeah, season 5 will be their last season. The creator even said it. Like a lot of people, like I talked to one of the actresses on The Boys or whatever. She was saying that season 5 was gonna be the last season. So yeah, I think they're planning on probably doing spin-offs though or whatever. Like I know
Oh yeah, Gen
Gen
V season
V
2, I
2.
think. Yeah.
I
I
actually
think
like the
Gen V
Gen
was
V. Gen V, I
it was
think it was
good.
pretty good.
It was far
Yeah,
superior to this current thing. I'm still waiting for them to show up. They're going to show up in this at some point. At least
I,
Cade and the dude's brother are because they were in the trailer, you know.
I think they're gonna show up at the end of season 4
That'd be
or
so
whatever.
lame if they show up like in the last 10 minutes of the last episode. Like I hate when the shows do that when
Yeah,
they have like the people you want to see just show up in like the last 5 minutes. It's such a waste.
or either or like episode 7 of uh of season 4 or whatever. Like they'll probably make a cameo in there
Mm-hmm.
because what's her name? Who's the
Kate,
who's the who's the black girl that was
Marie,
in Gen
Marie.
V? Yeah, she was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to like she could have been adopted by Huey and Starlight or whatever. Like if you paid
If they
attention in
got
season
him for
3.
first.
Yeah.
Because guys,
So
Starlight's pro-abortion, just in case you cared, which none of us did, but it's like a thing now, I guess. Uh, that's unfortunate. And but on the positive aspect of things, I know Chris hasn't watched House of the Dragon, but for any of you out there curious about season 2, episode 1 was fantastic. It was very good up until the end. So, Chris, in the book, there's this probably one of the most important moments in the book. Do you mind if I spoil it for you, Chris, or are you gonna watch like House of the
go
Dragon?
ahead, man. I don't
So
care.
basically, in the book, there's this thing where the whole thing is right. These two families, the two sides feuding right over the Targaryen like
Sounds
civil
like
war.
Romeo and Juliet.
But not at all though. But basically, one side hires these two dudes, Blood and Cheese. Blood is this soldier, and Cheese is this like rat catcher, right? And they go into the castle.
Mhm.
In the book, it's to kill. It's vague about who they're supposed to kill. It's supposed to be a son for a son, but in the show, they make it specific that they're supposed to kill Aemond. Except they don't, which is annoying that they made it specific because they don't. But in the book, they end up in the queen's room, and she's there, and she's with her two children, a boy and a no, and I believe it's a younger brother and an older brother in the book, but in the show it's these twins. But basically, she said they in the book they're like, all right, to the queen, we're gonna kill one of your kids. Which one do you want us to kill? And they force her to choose one of the sons to kill, and then they look at him and they say, "Your mama wants you dead, boy." And then Blood kills the other son, and they leave, and it's very impactful because then that son for the rest of the book and stuff knows that his mom chose him to die, right? But in the show, they have that happen, but it's a boy and a girl, it's twins. And they say, which one's the boy? And she points to the boy, and they just kill the boy. So it's still like impactful in the horror of, oh my God, they just killed this kid. But it doesn't have the whole thing of the choice, right? And the impactfulness towards Maegor, who's actually has one of the kind of coolest scenes, which isn't even him, but this soldier later. It's irrelevant. Point is, they made a stupid change. I don't know why they made the change, but it took something that could have been very impactful and just took the impact out of it. Other than that, it has been a very good first episode. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Definitely far better than the boys season 4.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure, man.
Priest, you have no interest in House of the Dragon?
Nah, not really.
Okay, I can respect it. I'm not sure why, but I have no interest in anime. So people have different interests, right?
Oh yeah,
Speaking
for
of
sure, man.
anime, Vagabundo never sent me any recommendations, and even if he did, I would not have had time to watch them this week. Um, so I still have yet to consume any anime I find enjoyable. But did you hear the news? I think we talked about it last week about the animated Lord of the Rings Rohirrim movie that's coming out in 2025.
Yeah, I might actually check that one out. I'll
Yeah,
probably
it
give it a
looks
try.
interesting. Mm-hmm. And we also have in 2025 another spin-off show from like the Game of Thrones, The Song of Ice and Fire universe, Duncan Egg, which I have not actually read the Duncan Egg books, but I will before the show comes out in preparation for it. So I'm excited for that because I mean House of the Dragon's been fantastic, so I'm definitely looking forward to more shows based in the Song of Ice and Fire universe. I do have one little. If I have one other complaint besides the blood and cheese thing about House of the Dragon, there's this character, Alan of Hall, later retitled like Adam Valerian, and Chris, do you know what they did?
What?
They race swapped him, and it's like I'm
Uh,
cool with race swaps and stuff, but it's like it seems so needless, right? Because this he has a very distinct look, right? You know, silver hair, purple eyes, right? And he doesn't
yeah,
have any
for
hair.
sure.
He's a bald, middle-aged black dude now instead of a teenager with long silver hair and bright purple eyes. And it's just like
It
I
be
don't know
like
why
that
they did it.
sometimes. It's Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's this girl who could be black, but they could have Ryan instead, but they just race swapped this dude instead. And it's like it's fine, you know. The actor, actually, the actor seems kind of flat, but it's unfortunate for stuff like that to happen. But yeah, I am looking forward to the rest of House of the Dragon. Whereas The Boys has been a disappointment. But we've got Deadpool and Wolverine coming out in 2 weeks, I think. Right? July
Yeah,
9th.
I think it's July 26th.
Oh shoot, I'm way up. Okay, that's over a month away then. But besides that, there's nothing else really coming out this year of interest. Do you know of anything? I don't.
Well, me personally, I do want to see Joker 2 because like I like the Joaquin Phoenix's performance in the first one. However, I'm a little interested what Lady Gaga is going to be doing as Harley Quinn, but like I trust Todd Phillips with it. He's proven to be a great director. He did the Hangover movies, War Dogs, the first Joker movie. So
I
I think
actually
we're in
have
good
not
hands.
seen Joker. I didn't watch it. I will before Joker 2, but I have not as of yet seen it. I've heard it's, good though from everyone, so.
Yeah, it's a good mental health movie. I'll put it that
Mhm.
way. I think you should check it out or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. If you watch the movie The King of Comedy and trying to think of the other one, the other movie that it basically copy off of. Oh, and Taxi Driver. I think you'll like this one too. So, for the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix or whatever.
Nice. And when does that come out? Is that like in fall or winter?
Joker 2 comes out. Hold on. I think it's in October. Hold on
Okay.
myself.
So still a pretty sparse year movie-wise. Like I can't think of anything else that I know of coming out this year. I mean, we've got the rest of
That's
the
going.
Acolyte season one. If everyone's excited about that, guys, chat. Let me know. Are any of you actually watching the Acolyte? I know Tim is, but if there's anyone else here, please don't watch the Acolyte. Don't give them the views. But when's it come out, Chris?
October 4th of 2024.
Okay, so
So it's going
that's
to be
pretty
coming out
recent.
around spooky season. So I think it should be
Yeah.
good. Oh yeah, and Beetlejuice 2 is coming out too. So that's going to be
Oh
good
yeah,
too.
I'm actually looking forward to that. It's gonna be a nice bit of nostalgia.
Yeah. I'm just going to see how Jenna Ortega does because like she's a pretty based person and I'm a supporter or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, but like it's pretty sparse year still, because like from writer strike and COVID and stuff. And I really feel like Deadpool 2, sorry, Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine is gonna have a pretty huge impact on what we see from Disney moving forward. Because if it flops, if it fails, if it like caps out at like 500, 600 million, it's gonna be a failure. And that's gonna be like almost want to say the nail in the coffin, even though it won't quite be. It's gonna be the first hammer hit, driving that nail closer to closing that coffin shut for Disney, because they've had failure after failure, and this is their last big shot. This is their last big thing. This is the last push they have. Deadpool and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. If it fails, what do they have next to look forward to? Black Captain Falcon 4, who's had like 7 reshoots at this point.
So with with the Deadpool movie, it's like I told Left Eye Ego. It should make a billion. It's one of those things. It should make a billion. But
if
if
it's
it
good.
doesn't, I think it taps out like at least at 800 or 900 million. Shout out to Phantom because he said the same thing or whatever.
See,
I think anything less under that, then they will hit the panic button or whatever.
mm. And
They
that's the
should
thing
be
that I
panicked.
do I do hope it's good, but really feel like if it is a bad movie, if it's another Multiverse of Madness, then I really feel like it could like fall short. So I'm saying it now. I might be proved insanely wrong, or I might be right, but I'm saying now I predict if it's not a good movie, then it could cap around 500-600 million. I don't if it's as bad as Multiverse of Madness, it's not gonna hit 1 billion like that movie did, but we will see. Server says I
Yeah.
caught a couple on a watch party, but probably would have turned it off if not. Oh no, I just don't get why anyone would watch the show if not to review it. Like I could only do episode one, and that was just to review it. I could not continue. It's disgusting. Chris, are you gonna finish the season
What for what?
for the Acolyte?
So far, like, me and my other friends, we're like roasting it together, so might as well have fun with it. So,
Might as well.
yeah. So,
Yes. So
but
I mean, what's next with Star Wars? The Mandalorian and Grogu movies, the next big project. Then after that, we have the Rey movie to get excited for.
like, I know this is unpopular, but like, I think the Mando movie will make money, but I don't think the Ray movie will make money.
It's dude, it's like a joke, like a Rey movie. It's like a meme they put out. Oh yeah, Star Wars' next big thing is a Rey movie. Like, do they not see the overwhelming dislike for Rey as a character? Like, is it not something out of South Park that they decide to give Rey a movie after the sequel trilogy failed with her as leading it?
Well, the thing is, like, I feel real bad for Daisy Ridley because she's actually a nice person and she seems pretty based or whatever. Because, like, low key, she don't even like the Star Wars movies. But, like, hey, you got to get a paycheck some type of way. But, yeah, I don't know. This is shit. Yeah. This, like, the thing is, Kathleen Kennedy and them have an ego. That's all it is. It's just ego based. They don't want to admit that they're wrong about something, and that's really about it, man. Like, it's just strictly ego. That's all it is.
And just like how much money, how many resources, how much time are they gonna waste? Before they go over their ego, before I mean, listen, at this point, Catherine Kennedy's when she dies, that's when she's leaving. All right. And I've seen a ton of stuff like saying, oh, the Acolyte's so bad. But guys, we need Dave Filoni back. We need Dave Filoni and George Lucas back. Like I've seen like posts on Facebook and X saying like all of this current stuff's really bad, but it's Dave Filoni and George Lucas we need back to bring things to steady the ship. And it's so untrue, and it's insane that people still believe that Dave Filoni is the future when he's been behind all of this garbage, including the Acolyte. Like, it's wild that people still have faith in him.
Dave Filoni, like, I was watching an interview with George Lucas, like when he was like when they were discussing about what the Force is, and like Dave Filoni wasn't even paying attention to George Lucas. He was like drawing pictures and stuff. So that kind of shows you what type of person Dave Filoni is. Like, he doesn't even respect the dude that brought him into the company. So, like, Dave Filoni just is looking out for Dave Filoni. So, me personally, like I said, just like Disney Marvel and Disney Star Wars, this stuff is all dead. It's like, you might get a one good product like an X-Men 97, but guess what?
Andor.
It's like Young Ripper said, it's not enough. Like, you're not getting the viewers that you need. It's not enough. You can't just like it or love it or whatever. So,
Did you like Andor?
I didn't watch Andor.
Oh shoot, that was the one good show. I didn't like the first 3 episodes, but then the other 6 are really good. I highly recommend if you want like a good Star Wars show. Without any lightsabers or Jedi in it, it's just like a solid show. Again, the first 3 episodes are kind of but the next 6 are actually really solid. I'm looking forward to Andor season 2 as well. It's gonna be the last season. But I'm mildly excited for it. I hope it's good. Season 1 was good.
Yeah, for sure. But
But
yeah, man,
yeah,
I gotta start heading out, my dude. Like, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I don't know if you want to wrap up a little bit early or
Yeah,
whatever.
folks, we gotta wrap a bit early tonight because I do have somewhere to be tonight. Oh, Big Dog Jake is here to support the homies. Shout out, Chris. So, Big Dog, you're gonna have to watch up the replay because we are heading out tonight. Bit of a shorter show. These shows probably gonna go down to about an hour for the rest of the summer because there's a lot to do in the summer. So we're gonna back off from an hour, 2.5 hour shows down to like an hour. But thank you so much for watching, folks. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.